The 2004 NFL Draft was full of drama for multiple reasons. Eli Manning threatening the San Diego Chargers that he would sit the whole 2004 NFL season if they selected him number 1. The New York Giants either trying to trade up or stay at number 4 to select a quarterback. And how could I forget where quarterback Ben Roethlisberger would get drafted to, while his agent was stressing him out. But before the drama, let's take a look back at their senior seasons in college and the drama leading up into the draft. Now let's start off with quarterback Eli Manning. He played his senior season at the University of Ole Miss. Manning led Ole Miss to a 10-3 record and impressive wins over ranked number 24 Florida, Alabama, ranked number 21 Arkansas, South Carolina, and Auburn. Stats-wise, Manning threw for 3,600 passing yards, 29 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. Manning led Ole Miss to the SBC Cotton Bowl against ranked number 21 Oklahoma State. Ole Miss got the victory 31-28, while Manning passing for 259 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. Now, the next person we're going to talk about is quarterback Philip Rivers. Philip Rivers played at the University of NC State. In his senior season, Rivers passed for 4,491 yards and 34 touchdowns in 12 games. Rivers passed for 300 yards 8 times and 400 yards 4 times to go along with 29 touchdowns. Rivers will lead the ACC in passing attempts, completions, yards, and touchdowns. Rivers will lead NC State to a 7-5 record and qualify for a bowl game. NC State played Kansas in the Tangerine Bowl. NC State would win the game 56-25. Rivers threw for a career-high 475 yards, 5 touchdowns to a positive start to the NFL Draft. And finally, the last quarterback to cover is no other than quarterback Ben Roethlisberger. Ben played at the University of Miami of Ohio in the Mac-12 Conference. In Roethlisberger's senior season, he passed for 4,486 yards, 37 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. Ben led the team to a 13-1 record. Roethlisberger was named the MAC Player of the Year in 2003 after breaking multiple school records. Ben also led Miami of Ohio to the GMAC Bowl game versus Louisville. Ben passed for 376 yards and 4 touchdowns in the first half and won MVP honors. Great game going into the NFL Draft. Now, after looking at all their senior seasons in college, let's take a look at the drama into the NFL Draft. The San Diego Chargers owned the number 1 pick and wanted to select quarterback Eli Manning, but however, Manning and his team told general manager A.J. Smith if the Chargers were to select him number 1 overall, he would sit the entire season. Multiple reasons were speculated why he would sit and not play with the Chargers, but in 2021, Manning revealed why he didn't want the Chargers to select him. During an interview with Kyle Brandit and his podcast, Manning said, "Going through the draft process, I was worried about the Chargers organization at the time. I felt it was like the right decision. I quietly tried to say, hey, please don't draft me. It could be our secret." 3 days before the draft, Eli's manager was called to open negotiations with the Chargers to play there, and his response was no. He was also asked if he would be happy if Eli got drafted by the Chargers, and his response was no once again. The New York Giants manager, Ernie Accorsi, was interested in trading up for Manning. If it didn't work out, he wanted to draft quarterback Ben Roethlisberger. The day before the draft, Ben's agent, Leigh Steinberg, didn't think the trade was going to go through, so he told Ben, if things stick how they are right now, New York will just take you. He was very nervous of Manning's team getting him to New York. If the Giants were to trade out of number 4, they would take quarterback Philip Rivers. Philip Rivers thought he would fall to number 11 to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Before the draft, Manning was once asked again why he wouldn't play for the Chargers. Manning once said again he wouldn't give details and, quote, made our decision. Now, the Chargers are on the clock. They ignored the threat and selected Eli Manning number 1 overall. And Manning looked miserable holding up the jersey. Just look at him. He looks miserable. Now, here's where more drama comes forward. And you're like, Josh, what more could possibly go on? Well, just sit down, relax, and I'll show you. Now, Giants general manager Ernie Accorsi was content at staying at 4 and taking quarterback Ben Roethlisberger, but he heard a rumor saying the Cleveland Browns were trying to get in distance of getting Eli Manning. But Ernie said, if we don't take the trade, we'll just draft Roethlisberger. Ben's agent, Leigh Steinberg, thought Ben was locked in at number 4, but then a report came out saying if quarterback Philip Rivers was still available at number 4, the Giants would just take Rivers and then work out a trade with the Chargers, both swapping quarterbacks. And obviously, Ben's agent isn't thrilled when he hears about this. But 6 minutes in, no call, pick or trade happened. Ernie would not make the call because that would mean the Chargers would have all the leverage in the trade. But, however, at the 7-minute mark, the Chargers general manager A.J. Smith called the Giants to work out a trade. In the final seconds, the trade was official with the 4th pick. The Giants took Phillip Rivers. Rivers never got a call from the Giants and didn't know what was going to happen. The San Diego Chargers received quarterback Phillip Rivers and 2 picks, which turned into place kicker Nate Kidling and linebacker Sean Marion, while the Giants only got Eli Manning. Now just leaves Ben Roethlisberger. Eli Manning found out about the trade going from interview to interview when a kid busted through the door yelling, "Manning has been traded to the Giants." Manning asked everyone around to fact check. And Ben's agent was honestly stressing him the fuck out. Me personally, I would slap the fuck out of him. But in all seriousness, the next 5 picks wouldn't be Ben Roethlisberger. They would be, at 5, the Washington Redskins selected Sean Taylor, R.I.P. At 6, the Cleveland Browns selected Kellen Winslow, and Ben thought he was going to go to Cleveland, but the Browns passed on him. At 7, the Lions selected Roy Williams. At 8, the Falcons took D'Angelo Hall. At 9, the Jaguars selected Reggie Williams. And at 10, the Houston Texans select Dante Robinson. And at 11, the Pittsburgh Steelers were on the clock. The Steelers had quarterback Tommy Maddox, but Ben could sit and learn behind him. So at 11, the Pittsburgh Steelers took Ben Roethlisberger. Now, before the end of the video, if you see my other videos, I like to give my final thoughts. So, my final thoughts in this video are the Chargers, the Steelers, and the Giants all benefited from taking a quarterback in this year's draft. All 3 of them got Hall of Fame quarterbacks, and pretty much they were their quarterbacks for at least 15 years. Roethlisberger and Manning stayed with their teams for their whole careers, and Phillip Rivers stayed with the Chargers for his whole career until his last year he played with the Indianapolis Colts. And that's all from me. If you guys have any video ideas you guys want to see, please let me know in the comment section below. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Alright, y'all. See y'all in the very next video. Peace out, y'all.